Hi.
Morning and welcome to Misunderstood Mijas.
Oh my gosh, my timing is so off. Again, I misunderstood the timing.
Our very first episode that, of course, did not come as
Yeah,
smoothly as we were expecting it to go.
we're trying to understand this whole app thing, so bear with us. So both of us were
It
missing
was it was
already.
a hassle. It was a hassle, but we made it through it. We're here, and I'm excited.
Yes, same here.
I am excited. Well, for our first episode, I think it's a good segue to kind of give the audience a little bit of a background and on how we met and how we came to this podcast. Um, so I'm gonna go first, real quick. I actually met Mel through her husband. We were co-workers at UPS. Um, and I befriended him, and we became friends. And then he started talking about his lovely wife as we were unloading, and he was just telling me all these like little snippets of stories, and I'm like, this girl sounds like a cool chick, like. And I told him, I remember telling him, her and I need to be best friends. Like, I can feel it in my soul. It's gonna happen. She's cool. She's my type of female. We gotta make it happen. And yeah, eventually it did. You added me on Facebook,
I
and that's
did.
how we started talking. And then you invited me to church because
Yes, I did.
coincidentally, the church was close to where I used to live in Vallejo. Um, so we started going to church together every Sunday, and it just escalated to there, and we went through a lot of stuff because we did our own Bible study, you and I,
And then hang out
and
with friends.
yeah,
Um,
well, yeah,
and then we talk a lot more on the messenger, a lot.
a
So
lot,
a
a
lot.
lot.
So I can tell my side of behind the scenes of that, the detailed part of it. So first of all, I'm like surprised that, well, I was surprised that my husband talks about me at work because I don't think, like for me, I don't think he's that type of person who would talk about people in general. He always talks about like ideas and his martial arts and all that,
Yeah,
but never expect that he would talk about me. Maybe when he talks about like, oh yeah, my wife does this, my wife does that, but it's like not details. So for that, I was surprised. And then second, I heard about you, Myra, because he would come home. It's like, oh, guess what? I met a new friend. I was like, oh, okay. Like, and her name is Myra, and I think I can see you guys get along. She's a single mom, and I can see like you two will get along because she's kind of like going through phase right now with dating, and maybe she needs a friend. And I was like, oh, okay.
he's
And then
my go-to guy for advice for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And the
Yeah,
funny thing is, like, if I'm any other girl, I'll be like, who's this chick? Who is she? Who's this bee? Like, why are you talking to her? But no, I'm not like that. I'm just glad that, like he makes friends and then at the same time, like, oh, like he kind of compliments you in like, in a friendly way. But for me, it's like
good.
nothing like go far. I'm like, who's this chick? So, but I did added you on Facebook. It's not
And I
like
didn't think I
repo.
didn't think it was. No, I didn't take it that way. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm finally get to like be friends with this girl that I've heard so much about, and I really do feel like we
Yeah,
could be
same
friends.
here. Yeah, same here. I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
because you always make nice comments about me and him on Facebook. It's like, oh, this girl's nice, and then it's like,
You
oh yeah,
guys,
it's the same chick. It's like same chick. It's like, oh, the one I was been talking to, Myra. Oh, that's her. Okay. let me add her, but tell her like I'm not being a creep or anything. I was like, oh, I don't care. I was like, I know you don't care. I'm just telling you because women in general, I'm not really like, stereotyping, but there's comes like a weird territory because I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
like we're not
Especially
all
when
women
you're
like
new.
that, right? So
Yeah. Which is hard on me because the majority of my friends are guys, they're dudes, and a lot of them are married. So it's like it's a hard dynamic because I was friends with the dude before they got married, and now it's just kind of like sometimes it feels like you're tiptoeing around because you want to be respectful to the wife, but you also care for the friendship a lot. So
yes,
to have a friendship with the wife as well with the guy, it's heaven. So you guys seriously, and I've been saying this from the beginning, you guys are my couple goals 100%, always will be, and always you guys are just I want what you guys have one day. One day.
we're like your inspirational couple, but
You guys are. You guys
we
are.
are,
You guys are. But
yeah,
you know what you guys have that make you guys so special in my eyes? You guys are friends. First and
yeah.
foremost.
Yeah, we're friends. I think that's what he told you. He always tells like every time like someone ask him for an advice, he would give
Mhm.
like you guys need to be friends first because you can't have a relationship with that person if there's no friendship. Pretty much
No.
the foundation of relationship is being friends first because that's how we met. Like he was like my first friend in Bay Area when I moved from Sacramento. I had a
Mhm.
nobody. Like I have like co-worker friends, but there's still boundaries there. But I don't have any like a buddy, like a friend who takes me places. So yeah, we were, we're friends first, and he, as being a friend, it's not like we're what's that, flirting and all that. No, like he can be tough on me, like like he can be blunt on me when he calls me out, and I call him out too. So I
I
think that's
love
what we appreciate about our friendship. It's not fake. It's not like like, oh yeah, I have a friend who's a boy and he's cute, whatever. I didn't see that in the beginning. He's just like a friend
Mhm.
because I don't know, at that time I was like, I hate men. I was going through a
Yeah.
breakup, so I was like, ugh, forget it. Like I don't wanna deal with any drama right now. But he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and what did he like say to you that made you feel like, huh? Like when you were asking him about any advice, like what stood out? What he
Well, I
said?
could tell you specifically. I remember what he specifically said that made me go, "This chick should be my best friend. We're gonna be friends forever." That's it. We were talking about how we were talking about strip clubs, and we were talking about like unloading this UPS truck and talking about strip clubs because why not? Um, so we were doing that, and then I was mentioning to him that I'm not the type of female that likes to go to male strip clubs. Those seem really disgusting to me, but I
Oh my
am
gosh, you and I
so
are the same thing. I've never
yeah.
been
I don't
to
know why. I feel yeah. It doesn't even. It feels like a community penis for some
no
reason.
because
Like it feels
yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, because my bachelorette, like my friend, she's like a lesbian, and she was gonna take me to a male strip. I was like, no, I don't want to see any of those flying in front of me. I want to see girls strip club. So I
Yeah,
am.
I don't know.
Is it a thing? That's so funny you brought that up because
I
that's
mean,
why I
I don't.
get along with you.
Yeah, well, I don't understand why I find male strip clubs more disgusting than female, but hey, that's how my mind works. So, I mean, I don't mind going to a female strip club. I'm actually like all for it. Let's go, buy me a lap dance, and I'm good to go. Um, but I used to go with my boyfriend a lot. And we would go to the city, San Francisco, and then we would go. He would buy me a lap dance, and we'd have a good time. But it's just like a normal thing for me now. Or I would go with my buddies or whatever. And then he was saying that he went to Vegas to celebrate. I think it was his nephew's 21st,
Okay.
and he called you. There was a conversation on the phone, and then you got upset. You got upset that he didn't tip the stripper
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
money.
Hold him
And
on that.
when he said that, I was like, all right, this chick is my type of female. I need to meet her. Like,
Yeah.
this is my girl.
Yeah, because I didn't scold him going to script. I'm all for that. Like the thing is, I didn't expect him to do that. So we might as well like do it and whatever. Like for me, like it's a guy thing, probably because that's their nature or whatever. But one thing I didn't appreciate in him telling me that he tipped this girl like, I don't know, $2, $3, $5, and that's when I'm like, oh heck no, like why would you do that? These women, they work their butt off. I'm trying to
They
censor it.
do.
Their butt off just to dance and strip for you in this stilettos, and like I don't think I can't do those things with the pole.
It's
And
a work of art.
it is. And at the same time, they have to be physically, emotionally, mentally ready because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, they're doing this so that they can bring food to their home. And like, for him to just bring that, I was like, oh, heck no. So, yeah, I did what I had to do. I wired him money. I think a
You
few.
wired him money to give to the stripper? See, that's why I love you.
No, well, the thing is, I told him, okay, I'm wiring you $300. But I said, but don't use it all on, make it worth, like gamble it, like make more from it, but at least give her something. And then, yeah. And I think I was scolding him. I was at work because,
Oh, you were at work?
yeah, during my break. Because okay, here's the thing. He was bugging me at work. He would tell me like every 5-10 minutes, "Oh, babe, I'm at the club. Oh, wait, babe, I'm at the and it's annoying because I'm at work and I'm at work, and then my coworker was like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "Ugh, my husband's on a strip. I mean." I didn't say strip club. So he's in Vegas. It's like, oh, are you mad because he's in Vegas? Like, no, I'm mad because he was calling me and what he does in Vegas. I was like, aren't you even curious? Aren't you even like? I was like, he's gonna tell me anyways, like a summary when I pick him up from the airport. I mean, I'm not saying like I don't want to hear it. It's more like when I'm at
You
work, I'm my work. I'm in my mental zone is work because this is where I'm making my money. While my husband is spending money, I'm making money. So
well,
that's why
also to add to that though, I also think that you're not that type of female, which is another reason why I love you. That you don't need like a text from your guy every 5 minutes when he's out of town. Like there's a trust there.
yeah,
Um,
because okay, so one thing about my husband is, he's been through a lot, and I see him working hard and being a dad on with his first son and then second son, and like this is and he wants to be with guys, and this is at least I could do as a wife. Sometimes I feel weird. I'm a wife, because I don't know. I don't feel like it's not like I feel like I'm married, but I feel like we're just married, but we're not taking our marriage like too serious.
seriously,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's what it is. So I just, what, you deserve it. Just go out there, have fun. Funny thing is, it was actually my birthday week. And then someone told me like, "You're gonna let
Uh-huh.
him go on your birthday week," and I'm like, we already celebrating my birthday, so this is his thing, is let him go. For me as a benefit, I get to go home, with my son or alone. Like, oh, nice, like I can
You
finally
get your
cook.
you time, your me time.
Yes. So
Yeah.
in a way, I think one thing like I like about our marriage is like we give each other space.
Yeah,
Not like, oh,
that's
I need
important.
space, we're fighting. Like, no, because we want to do our own thing. So that when we meet again, we have a lot of things to talk about. Because if he's here,
Exactly.
it's nauseating, like for me. Maybe that's just me. I mean, you feel the
No,
same.
I feel the same, dude. Like I need my space. Like I let me miss you. Let me
Yes,
miss you.
exactly. I think
You
that's
know?
why he's calling me every 5 minutes. It's not guilt for him. I'm like, dude, don't. I told him, don't feel guilty, But it's just like, okay, enjoy the moment, and then let me miss you. Let us miss each other, and
Yeah. But
I think that's
I
what it is.
got it. No, and it's seriously, it's like the secret sauce in my opinion because I wasn't like this. In my early 20s, I was a psycho.
Oh, tell
I
me more.
I was oh my god, I have so much respect to my first real relationship because I would have broken up with my ass I don't know how many times during that relationship. I was clingy, I was super jealous. Um I was that chick that needed to know where you were if you were not with me. Um yeah, I was a mess, but I looking back at it now, I think it was a lot to do with my insecurities. Um,
Hmm.
a lot to do with my insecurities. A lot of past trauma that was carried over from childhood onto my relationship,
Hmm.
and it wasn't until oh my god, like 15, maybe 12 years later, that I started therapy and I started healing and going through the spiritual journey, self love. It wasn't until then that I started to realize, oh wow, I was a psycho. Like like that was not cool and for him to stick around as long as he did, that's like in Spanish we say mis respetos, like my respects to him. Like I take off my hat because wow.
How long? How long was your longest relationship?
um okay, define relationship because there was one that it was like we
You
were
like
not
no, no, no,
official.
not like having fun, like serious, committed relationship. Thinking like he's the
Okay,
one.
well I'll put
Yeah.
it this way. The longest one that I had like feelings for that it took me a minute to get over was
Mhm.
12 years.
Wow, 12
12 years.
years.
Yeah, and this was like recently. This was like maybe like 3, 4 years ago that I was like, all right, my right time to move on.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, that
You
was
know the
that was a big
fun fact
that
about
was
me? Um, Nesto is my second serious boyfriend. Was my second
your
serious boyfriend.
second.
Yeah, I don't really count high school because it's like puppy love, or it lasts like what, 2, 3 months. I mean, 6 months being together, that's like wow, that's like a 1 year, in adult life. But um, yeah, he was my second boyfriend. And does that sound like I'm stingy or something? Because when people say,
Stingy.
"Oh, what's your number?" I was like, when I said two, like my husband's my second, people would like look
Wait,
at me.
wait, 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 wait. He's your second, like your number, like your sex partners.
Yeah, um, a sex partner, like relationship partner. Yes,
Well, relationship. Okay, but not your sex number, because those are different numbers. So
I know. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. But they
okay,
they were
okay,
they were
okay.
asking me, like how many boyfriends, like serious boyfriends I had, what's your number? I did ask that question, like, number. You mean like relationship or bed? Like I was
What
asked. They
he
were,
asked you?
no, 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 like friends, and like when you go out, you drinks, and then people
Oh, like in
they
conversation. Yeah.
yeah, conversation. But then, because like some they're like, oh, 4, 5, like between 5 and 10, and I was the lowest number, which is 2, and they were like shocked. They're like, wow, you need to go out more. You need to like, it's like a buffet. There's like a man there, so it's like, how would you know that person is the one when you haven't really been in a lot of men? I'm like, well, that's why it's called dating, right? Like, yeah, but you need to be in a relationship so that you know what you look for in a relationship. But
Every relationship is different.
Yeah,
And when you know, you know.
yeah. And then for me, I do have standards. And one thing that when I was going through my first breakup, um I was working on myself more because I realized that I love the person that that broke my heart
Mhm.
more than myself. And that's when I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna work on myself, because how can men find me attractive when I can't even find myself attractive? Like, like
Yeah.
I was,
Yes, that part.
yeah. And that's how I met him as a friend, because he was kind of like, sorry, my life coach in a way.
Yeah.
Like, because,
Yes, he is like that.
right? Yeah. And, he was telling me his stories and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, heck no. I want, like when he was telling me his history about women, how, I was like, oh, heck no. Like, my first thing is like, I don't want to be with you. Like, you're like the last
Yeah.
person I want to date. But he helped me boost my confidence. And I would tell him because I signed up for like an online dating, and I would like tell him stories about my dates and all that. And he was there being a friend. I didn't really, what is that, find a distinction like he likes me at that time. So,
Mhm. Mhm. Oh,
yeah.
but I'm so happy that you guys found each other because you
Nice,
guys
I
are
did
like
too.
you guys are so perfect for each other. It's like disgusting how cute you guys are.
We don't even try. I mean, I don't even. I used to post a lot of me and him, in our early dating phase. But I think once you get married, it's like what is that? I don't post a lot of stuff about us. I wanted
No.
more, like privacy is really a
Yeah.
luxury for me now. But yeah, I post a lot of my stories, what I do every day, but I don't post something really intimate, because this is like, something special that we still want to keep our marriage spark by not
Yeah.
posting stuff that we still have the spark. It's just
Yeah.
uh, our deep conversation that people don't even know. And yeah, and I'm just
Yeah.
glad.
I mean, and no shade to those who like to like share and like post pictures. You guys, when I mean by cute, I didn't mean like you guys are super corny or cheesy. You
Uh-huh.
guys are just so chill, and you guys,
Oh, is
like
that
I
what you
said,
meant? Okay, define
yeah,
chill. Define
like
chill.
you guys are into the same things. You guys are like you. I see. Okay. Put aside the you guys are married, right? I see a friendship, a solid friendship there, and I
Yeah.
think that's what I admire most about you guys is that you guys are friends first and foremost, and because of you guys have that solid foundation,
Mm-hmm.
then the marriage works, you know. Um,
Yes.
and I think that's what I was missing in a lot of my past relationships. It was
Mm-hmm.
just we were missing the friendship. That's what I had with my first one. And I think that's why
Mm-hmm.
it lasted as long as it lasted. Not the 12-year one. That's a whole different story. But the first, the one before that, the first one, I think that's why it lasted as long as it did, even though I was completely insane. It's because he was my friend, and I would go to him for advice because he was a little bit older than I was. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I would go to him for advice and stuff like that. But I think ultimately what broke us up was, besides the fact that I was insane and I wasn't ready for a real committed relationship, since he was older, he was heading towards the direction of like, oh, I want to settle down. He was thinking
Uh,
about that.
he was, he is.
I, yeah, I had just turned 21. I didn't want to settle down. I wanted to party and I wanted him to
Fun.
I
Yeah.
wanted to party and I wanted him to come with me. Like that was my mentality. He's like, no, I've already been there, done that type of thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that was like a lot of the conflict, and then it just kind of like it just kind of blew up. But yeah, I think that's the one thing that I miss from my first relationship that him and I were really friends. Like we were really solid friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't found that since then, really.
You know what the secret is? Don't look,
But
because that's what I did and he did. We didn't really bother to even. Okay, our focus was like, yeah, friendship, but we're both not even looking for like more than this. You know, like he and I, we don't even
there was
like.
no there was
No,
no expectation.
it just happens. I don't know if how my husband like advise you, because he would tell people like you will find that person when you're not looking. I don't know if he ever
It's
told you.
true. And it's true. It's true.
Yeah, you know what helped me? The more I focus on myself, the more like people starts to attract, like it's just a natural thing. Just they're gonna find you attractive, like based on like
Yeah.
when you focus on yourself, it's just I don't know, some kind of magnet or
It's
manifestation.
true. It's true, Mel. It's true.
Yeah, and
It's
not just
really
like with relationship, but also with job or like friendship, anything. Because like
anything.
yeah, like for me, like I just got a new job, right? I wasn't even looking for the job, but I was working on myself on like how to get myself better for the next level. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
in my job, I just got promoted. It's like okay, but I wasn't like, I wasn't happy. I was like, it's okay. But then a job just came along and wanted me, but I wasn't manifesting for that job. I was just focusing on myself. So I don't know. I mean, do you
Well,
believe
that's
in?
the thing. Oh, for sure, I believe in manifesting, and we're all doing it wrong.
What do you mean?
We're all doing it wrong. What? And you just proved it with your example. You weren't focusing on the job; you were focusing on the feeling, and
Yeah.
that's what manifest. That's what manifestation is. Is you
Mhm.
don't focus on. Okay, let's just say, for example, you want to have a relationship, right? You want to find the one.
Mhm.
Um, and let's just say that you thought you found the one in a previous connection that you had. And you
Yes.
still like, no, but he's the one. Like, I want us to get back together. It's him. It has to be this person.
You're forcing yourself, and it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not how manifestation works. The God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe, it's gonna send you what you need, the energy that you need. It's not gonna send you the person that you want. It
Yes.
may sometimes it does happen that way. Sometimes, but it doesn't always. So we gotta not put the focus on the object or the person. You gotta focus on the feeling. Well, how do you want to feel? Again,
Yes.
in the example of the relationship, how do you want to feel in your next relationship? What do you want? What qualities do you want? What does this person value that you want them to value? Morals, all these. We gotta
Yes.
focus more on that instead of the person or like physical attributes. Oh, they have to be this tall. They have to be this race. They have to be this whatever X, Y, and Z. Because now you're very limiting. You're limiting your your choices here.
I
um,
mean, I like your approach, and I appreciate like you brought that up, because not a lot of us have that conversation within ourselves. We always put up front on people what they want us to have, but we
yeah,
don't really like look at ourselves like, okay, we want this, we want that, but what about us? Like, how can we contribute to that person? Are we that person that person expects us to be? you know and it goes with
yeah,
like, okay, we want this person to work on themselves so that we will like them, but what about us? Are we working ourselves for us to be attracted, to be feeling attracted to them? So
yeah. It's
yeah, and
funny because
go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, this is like really interesting topic. Like we have like our topics in line, and now we're going off topic. But I appreciate this conversation because we're pretty.
Per our usual type of conversation, we always do this. This is our normal life.
Yeah. So I was just like I had this conversation with my husband because I think it was like last week, and I was just sitting down watching the chickens. Oh yeah, to let you know, we have 8 chickens now.
Love it.
Weird, like we just do random things that makes us, like fun, because
Yeah,
like the whole pandemic things. Like what, instead of raising other things, let's raise chickens. So, anyways, back to topic. I was just telling him like, our marriage, it's like it's not even a hard work. Like it's
see, that's
we're making it
beautiful.
easy, because like I watch the shows. It's like I work hard for my marriage, like I gotta do this for my husband. I was like, the husband's like, I gotta make money so I can bring food on the table, blah blah blah. And it's like there's a lot of compromising with each other, like
Hmm.
everything is 50-50. But I'm like, that's exhausting. When me and my husband, like, I told him like, you know our marriage, why is it not that hard? I feel like it's so easy. And you know what he said? That's how it should be.
Mm,
It was like, well,
exactly.
like
I
naturally,
agree.
it should
But
be.
you know what? Another thing I think that besides the fact that you guys have a solid friendship, you guys also base your relationship on God as well. You guys have a
Oh,
strong.
yes, that's a strong. I mean, in our first, like, our first dating phase, our first marriage phase, we weren't really like, I wasn't really like like I go to church. That time was like on and off, but I wasn't like talking to him about God that much. I don't know how it happened. We just out of nowhere, me and him, we were just going on and on about like talking about God, reading the Bible, and what can we do to our community, the kids, and it's just it came natural. And I
Yeah.
think it's because I prayed, but I didn't force him. That's the thing too. Like I didn't force him. Hey, you need to go to church with us. Like no, or you need to pray more. Nothing. That's
Mhm.
something that when you pray for something, again, let it flow. Don't force it.
Right.
And it
Right.
just happens. So yeah, thank you for recognizing that because again, it just comes naturally that I don't really like, like you notice it, but we don't because we're just being ourselves. So I guess
Yeah.
also you're observant. So that's
Yeah.
why I
I'm a people watcher.
like.
So I love that kind of stuff. That's my jam. But yeah, no, I mean you guys really do have. That's why I keep saying you guys are my couple goals because you guys are just so.
We're
It
not
just
trying
flows.
too hard,
It just
like we
flows. You know what I
appreciate it.
mean?
I guess it's a compliment, and I just Um, I just wish like, a lot of people can understand, me and him because, yeah, we're both of us are misunderstood too, but other people also misunderstood our marriage. Like, you know,
Mhm.
like, like when, for example, someone told me like, I just gave birth, I now have a almost 5 years old. They're like, "Oh, so you're still working? Why not your husband go to work and you stay home with the kids?" I'm like, first of
That I
all,
want to.
yeah, okay. First of all, like, are you gonna pay for my bills? Living in Bay Area is not all that glamorous. You gotta work
Yeah.
hard. And then second, people, I don't understand, but for me, I want a work life home balance, or work home whatever balance. Like yes, I enjoy being a mom. I enjoy being a wife, but my work is just for me. Like that's my space.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and don't find us like, oh, but you work, but then you get stressed. Like, yes, but it's a good stress. You don't, like, don't feel stressed about my stress. Like let it be. But I
Yeah.
like, because it's also making me grow, and I like to meet new people. And also, I freaking graduated. I want to use my degree for something. I'm not gonna waste it.
Yeah, yeah. I feel
So,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like for me, I'm not married, and marriage is not really a top priority for me. It never was. I think when I was little, I was obsessed with like wedding dresses and stuff, but I was obsessed with the party. Like
Oh,
I was
party.
obsessed with getting dressed up and like partying. Like that's
Oh,
what I
the
wanted.
process
Not
and
not
okay.
the actual marriage itself. Like that
You are
that didn't really,
you are the beginning of everything.
yeah, that didn't really interest me very much. So I'm still like that. Like if I never get married, it's I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I never got married. Like no, I'll be like, all right, it didn't happen. Like whatever. So it's not a top priority. But if it happens, it happens. Never say never, right?
Yeah.
Um, but for me, I totally understand you from that point because I'm homeschooling Camilo,
Mm-hmm.
and Camilo has ADHD, so it's a lot. I love my kid. I love him to pieces. He came to my life and he healed me in a lot of ways, and he has enhanced my life in so many beautiful ways. But he's a handful, man. He's a handful, and he can
Why
get
in
with
general?
80. Oh my god, with ADHD, and he's my son. So on top of everything, he has my genes. So he's gonna be a little bit of a headache. I mean, come on, he came from me. So
Mhm.
I mean, I'm kind of expecting that. Oh my god, teenage years is gonna be. Oh, I'm so scared of teenage years because if it's anything like me, I'm in trouble. But no, I mean it is a handful, and with ADHD, it comes with heavy emotions, very intense emotions. He could go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. Um, so it is a lot. He goes to therapy. I go to therapy. Um, so
Like,
Camilo consumes.
with all
Huh?
every, like, how do you, like, like, do all this, like, because I remember you're kind of studying, and then you do meditating, and then you do other stuff. Like, how would you, like, what is that? How do you split all that? Like, is it like 50% of the time of your life is Camilo, and then 50% is like you doing those little things, break down for
Oh,
yourself? Like,
it's not even
how do
that,
you
dude. It's not even 50-50. It's like 90 Camilo, and then the
wow.
yeah, Camilo really does consume a lot of my life right now. I think
Mm,
and that's another reason why I don't want a relationship right now because I just don't have the time for it. I don't
yeah.
have the energy for it.
Mhm.
Um, and that's why a lot of my past relationships haven't worked out because they want to spend more time with me, and I mean I'm not willing to sacrifice my time with my son to spend with the dude. So
Yeah.
um,
I think
right
that's the
now
struggle of, like, dating a single parent, because their
it's
kids always,
hard. Yeah, it's
yeah.
hard. I'm a package deal, and it's even harder with Camilo's ADHD. Um, so he goes to therapy. Like I said, he goes to therapy 4 times a week.
Mhm.
Um, so he goes to therapy 4 times a week. I go to therapy myself. My me time is is at night. So at night, I'm like ready. I'm ready. I'm like Camilo, like because Camilo has to take medication in order to go to sleep because of the ADHD. He does not sleep, so he needs that medication to sleep. So as soon as I give, and he knows too, because whenever I give him the medication, she's like, "Ah, it's time to go to sleep," and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm done."
Yeah.
um, so, but no, as soon as he falls asleep, I do my meditation. I'll catch up. Like if there's any like series that I'm watching, I'll catch up on my series or something like that, but after that it's just my meditation, and I have to meditate at night because and my therapist is trying to get me to meditate during the morning, to kind of like set the mood for the day, but I'm not a morning person. I'm very grumpy in the morning. And usually when I get up, that's when Camilo gets up too. So I don't have a lot of alone time. So for me, I have to meditate at night because that's my winding down, you know?
Yeah.
That's when I meditate. That's when I reflect the lessons of the day. And it depends. Like I may do a hypnosis, I may do meditation, I may do breath work. It just depends on my mood.
I'm just glad you have time to do this podcast with me. I appreciate
Well, I woke up early for you. That's how much I love you.
those for us.
No,
Sorry about
and also this podcast is another form of me time as well. So
yeah. Yeah, that is true. This is mine too. I mean, my schedule is crazy as well because first of all, my husband works at night, like
yeah,
and daytime he sleeps. I'll let him sleep because his work is tough. Like and you understand that like physical work. He needs his body rest. So
yeah,
like for me, like I try my best to do 50-50, but sometimes it's 70, doing the mom and wife thing, and then 30% for me. And
yeah,
it's just, it's it's hard, but I get to manage it because in the morning I take my before taking my son to school, I get him ready, breakfast. I make sure my husband's asleep, and also like trying to like get him ready. I want to make sure that I'm also quiet, not to get my husband like wake up, and then I get
yeah.
son ready to go to school. And then I'm like, okay, I have like 45 minutes before I log in. What should I do? So I make every 30 minutes like a priority, like for myself. 45 minutes is like the most. So good
Mhm.
thing the gym is close to the school. So I go to the gym just to like get my mind off, like for everything else. Like you with there with meditation, me is the gym. So it's just for me just to like release all my stress and all that. Then I go home, take a shower real quick. Sometimes I'm in a meeting, so I just like turn off my camera and just play it, put on speaker while I'm taking a shower. And then I hop on and just work straight until like 5. And then I pick up my son. I mean, by that time, my husband already left to go pick up his son, and then he goes with his son to the gym together and then do their own thing. This is his first son, because he
Yeah.
has pick him up all the way from his school. So I mean, like, I don't talk to my husband on weekdays. We catch up on weekends. Like, we do our
See,
own thing. Like, he's just there. I only text him when it comes to like bills and all that. And sometimes we would send each other's funny, goofy memes and all that. But that's it. We don't really communicate. Like, not like I don't want to talk to you kind of thing. It's like we just do our mind is like responsibilities on the weekdays. So it's
but
tough.
see that to me, no, I don't think that sucks at all. I think you guys have like the perfect arrangement. Like I
I
don't
guess
have to deal with like I don't. You're telling me that I don't got to deal with my husband until the weekend? Like that's genius. Like
yeah,
that's genius.
yeah. So that's pretty much it. And then on the weekends, that's when we catch up with errands, chores. Like like he goes with me, go to grocery, and I go with him, go to Home Depot. We do our chickens, whatever. And then on Sunday, we make it sacred because that's when we do really family day, which is like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going to have breakfast together, then we go to church. And after church, we go lunch and we just chill. And like if people invite us for dinner, like we go together as family. So that's pretty much
Yeah,
our
that
chill.
I really like that. That's really cool because like you have time to do you have time to do the mom thing, you have time for me time, and then
Yeah.
you have that chance to miss each other, and then you guys make it a priority that the time that you guys do have together, you make it count. You see,
Yeah.
that's what scares me about marriage. Like
Really?
having, well, okay, I'm gonna be real here.
Huh?
I'm scared of getting bored because I get bored so easily,
Same with
so easily.
me. You know, like
And
I
I'm scared, and even with even with a relationship, dude, like I'm just scared of having the same person
yeah, it's too
always like
predictable. That's what
there.
I'm trying to say. But you know what?
Yes.
It's weird because the more you do things like for yourself, like meditation, and all that, you're evolving. Like me and my husband, 6 years ago, we're not like this. We evolve. Like we grow separately, but together. I don't know if you know, it's
That's
like
beautiful. No, I
me,
totally get it. That's
me,
beautiful. I love
like,
that.
like this as before. Before I was like dramatic. I was going through depression, like all those negativity. I had dramas left and right, and then he's there, like like there for me all the time. And then like he's gone through stuff too, but we work together at the same time. We also work in ourselves. Like we need to
Mhm.
understand that I can't rely him for my happiness, and same goes with me to him. Like when they say, "Oh, you complete me," I disagree with that. Like I don't want anyone to complete
Yes.
me. I complete me. Do you agree?
Amen.
Do you agree with?
Amen to that. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, like, "Oh, you're the missing piece in my life," or puzzle. I'm like, you are your own piece. You're just
No.
broken, and you have
Yes.
to put yourself together. Don't let anyone put yourself together. It's you.
Preach, Melissa. Preach.
Yeah, that's how I
Preach.
learned this whole, I learned this because of marriage. The beauty of marriage is not just learning your partner, but learning who you are with more
Yeah.
responsibility. And
Yes.
yes, it's gonna be hard, but that's why you have a partner. Like that's why we are paired with someone, because his weakness is my strength, and vice versa. And my weakness is his strength. Like for me, I'm a book smart. Like I go by the books. Him is a street smart. And like when I'm like, no, we gotta follow it this way, and then he just know the shortcuts. And I'm amazed by that, because me and him, we are opposite in some ways, and I appreciate that. So
I love
yeah,
that.
so yeah, I
I
appreciate
I
with that. I'm surprised because not again. You and I get misunderstood. But what is your take on that? Like the whole, completeness within, like about yourself. Like you don't let
I
anyone
don't want
complete.
you to complete me. I don't need you to complete me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
why. I like, and again, I did it. I wasn't always like this. There was a time where I was looking for like, oh no, but I need you. I don't need, now I've come to learn that I don't need anybody. Um and I complete my own. And I even took that I can even take that a little bit further, because when Camilo was little, I was like, no, I need him. Like if he's not in my life, then, and yeah, I mean, again,
You're
I love
gonna.
my son and everything, but now I'm talking bilingual. But um, see, that's why I get comfortable. When I get comfortable, I start talking bilingual, and I forget that the other person doesn't know Spanish. Um, but I come to learn that I'm my own person. You know what I mean? I'm more than just a mom. I'm more than just someone's potential wife or girlfriend or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
me, and I needed to figure out what made me click. I needed to figure out what made have that fire in my stomach. I needed to learn what motivated me, what inspired me, you know? And now I'm not really looking per se, let's just be honest, because I'm not. But if there's a guy that I'm like, ooh, that sparks my interest, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, how are you going to enhance my life? I'm not looking for you to complete me or to
Yeah. You're just
fill
there
in
as
space,
influence or
you know?
support.
I don't need that.
Yes,
I don't
definitely.
need that. How are you going to inspire me to be better, or how am I going to inspire you to be better? And also, going back to your point where it says opposites attract, I'm so 100%. And I'm not looking for the same person as me.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like you're
not.
dating
I
yourself.
spend Yeah, I spend with myself 24/7, 7 days a week. I don't want another Myra.
Me.
I want someone who I can have a conversation with a different point of view, who can respect my point of view, and I could do the same, and we bounce ideas off each other. That's how we grow. We grow through communication.
Yes.
How am I going to learn if you're the same, if you think the same way as I do?
Yeah.
Granted, I do have to say it is important for me that we are on the same
Hey.
wavelength, at least politically, because
Yes.
I can't politically. We got to be on the same page here. But
Yeah.
I do like that back and forth dynamic. I enjoy it.
I think it's about balance, because what I like about my husband in the beginning is he's kind to me, and I'm looking for a guy who's like kind to me. But what excited
Yeah.
me wasn't really the whole kind thing, the whole, I mean, yeah, he's good looking, whatever, but he loves comic books, and especially Batman. And I was like, whoa. And I was just like,
Yeah.
Dan, you're like my soulmate right now, because when I saw his collections, his DVDs, his Blu-rays, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm just like, like, wow, like I met the person that is kind of like me, so that was my mindset then, like, wow, he's so cool. But as
Yeah.
friends, like, because me and him, one time we went to Barnes and Nobles, we're just sitting there and just read comic books next to each other. And he's like, I like this. I know we're like
That's
kids,
cute.
we're adults, but then we're like kids. I think that's what we were like. We're just playing, not like making out or whatever, but it's just, we are just there like kids, because we are kid at heart. And that's what the similarities of, what attract us in a similar ways. But
Yeah.
I also want to bring up the important similarities is also your morale, like,
Uh-huh.
like respect people, do the right thing, and faith is a big thing for me, but it has to come
Yeah.
naturally, like I don't want to force this guy, about God and everything. I want him to come to me and talk to me about God, because but I didn't expect that. He actually, I caught him reading a Bible one day, and he's like, "Hey, have you read Second Peter?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Whoa, like who's this guy?" Because and it makes me motivate to read the Bible. So me and him, we motivate each other, but separately, but together. I don't know if you know what I mean. But the
No, I
opposite,
get it. I get it.
yeah, the opposite one is like our quirkiness. Our habits, our personality. Like, um, like he's what is that? I feel like he's more laid back than me, but but because of that, he helps me to know how to calm down. And sometimes
Yeah.
he gets angry, and I find ways for him to calm down. So, like I said, like we
Let's
hover on,
balance each other.
but his strength is my weakness, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's balance. Like, do you agree with that? Because not everyone is going to be like me, but but there are similarities as well.
Yeah. But I mean, like, balance, not in like in a 50-50 way, in a 100 way. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Because this
okay.
whole this
Yes.
whole like 50-50 thing is bullshit too. So
Same here, because it's like, okay, I did this part. Now it's your turn to do your part. Like, no, if you wanna
yeah.
just go for it, just and he'll do the same way. Marriage is about 100, 100. You give all, because he's gonna give all. It's like,
Yeah.
like you do everything because this is who you are. This is the good of your heart, and this is because you love this person. I was like, oh, I'm only
Mm-hmm.
gonna do this part, but it's your turn to go. Like, no. Maybe if you're in an early phase of dating, getting to know that
Uh-huh.
person, you'll put yourself at a boundary of like meeting halfway, because you don't want to put yourself out there too much, but you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get your heart burned. But marriage is different. Like I said, you evolve when you go to
Yeah.
marriage. and there's
I
more,
mean,
and
and that's
there's
the
more.
point,
Like,
no? I mean, the point is to evolve and grow with each other, right? I mean,
yes,
growing individually, but growing individually in
pace,
the same pace.
wavelength.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like if you both are growing, but you're growing in the opposite direction, then there's a problem.
Yeah, just like let's put marriage, mothership aside with my husband. Let's talk about us, you and I. You know, like we started off in like in a weird, you know, like individually, we're going through a lot of crap together, but in, you know, like separately. But
Yeah.
compared to like how when we met and compared to where we're at right now, I feel like you and I have grown each other and also our friendship. You know,
Oh,
like
dude, we're so different now.
no, like before, like little things frustrate us that we like text each other just to vent, and then you vent and I vent, and then I was like, okay, this is going nowhere. And then I think there was a time like we stopped talking for like a couple months, and then we start talking
Yeah,
back again, and it's like a totally different us. So
yeah,
that's what I like
yeah.
about our friendship, you and I.
That's how a lot of the majority of my friendships are. Cause look, I'm a very social butterfly. I am. Like I could be the life of a party. Like I could get down. Like I'm that chick. But also I really come to find that I really like my solitude as well.
Yes,
And
in space.
because I'm so like I can feel people's energy. I'm very sensitive to people's energies. It could get overwhelming very, very fast.
Yes,
So
here
I
I
could be like I have like phases. I could be a social little butterfly and be hanging out, but then like there's I could go into back into my little cocoon and I just go back to like reflecting, writing on my journal, and kind of like having some me time as well because I need it or else I go crazy.
yeah, same here. I think the whole COVID quarantine situation is like a step back of like refresh everything that I got to talk myself more. You know, like
Mhm.
seeing more like my own eyes, my own bifocals, like looking like okay, who is Mel's really, and how am I to people, you know, like I feel like I need to start saying sorry to people. I need to start making amends and reconcile friendship,
Mhm.
relationship, you know, goes with like you know, friends, but also like with my parents. And it's just, but then again, it's a lot to take. And I do have a lot of friends, but doesn't mean that they're like my core friends. Like I
Mhm.
only have like what, 2 or 3 people in my life that I talk to almost every day, like friendship wise, you know. But and I talk to my former coworkers here and there, but I also needed, like you said, I need my solitude because I put so
Yeah.
much energy on other people. But what about, I want to save some of my energy to myself too, because if I
Mhm.
don't, I'm gonna lose myself. Like not like lose shit, like you know, I'm going crazy, but like losing my own identity. Like what do I want? What are my goals? Like is this something that I really want?
Exactly.
Because sometimes when we around with people, it, yes, it influences us too, but then our own little self is taken back, you know, like we don't
Yeah.
stick with our identity. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, we give a lot of energy. We can't get that energy back.
Yes.
Um, and if you keep giving and giving and giving and giving, and you don't,
You have now. You have nothing for
you
yourself.
don't, yeah, exactly. You don't leave anything for yourself. You're gonna run on fumes pretty fast. And that's what happens to me. It happens to me a lot. So that's why I need that time for myself because I need to put gas in the trunk or in the fuel tank. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like I need to put gas back in my body so that I'm able to function when I go out and interact with the world. so so yeah, no, I totally feel you on that. And then the pandemic for me personally just really uh it was heaven set. As crazy as that sounds,
Yeah, there's so
because
many
I was
things in that.
yeah, I was heading toward different direction. I lost my job during the pandemic, and I moved back to Vegas, which I hated Vegas with a passion because we can leave that for another episode. But yeah, there was just a lot of stuff in Vegas that I didn't like. I didn't want to come back here, and I'm starting to love it, and I really kind of don't want to move back home right now. um, which is something I've never thought that I would ever say in my life. But yeah, it really put things in perspective, and it really forced me to really look in the mirror and be like, all right, Myra, this is your time. No better time than right now. To really dig deep and make those changes, because what you have been doing thus far in your life has not been working. You're still miserable. You're still depressed. You're anxiety. You're having panic attacks. All right, what are we gonna do to change things? Because I can't continue living like this, and Camilo doesn't deserve a mom like that either. So
Because it's not just you now, you're
yeah,
also raising a son because they kids watch you,
oh
and
yeah,
they're very observant, and at the end of the day, like you're the source. We're the source. That's moms. We're the source of how they're gonna be, because their environment, how they're raised, and how we talk to them. And yeah,
yeah,
and sometimes, like, I'm on my mom mode, and I tell my son, don't do this, even though he's only 4 or 5 years old. But he's so attached to me, and then I like things, and now he started liking things that I like, and it's just
it's
yeah,
cool, right?
yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, whenever I see Camilo dancing salsa, my heart just melts. I'm
What?
like, oh,
Yeah.
like that's my boy. And then like he's so obsessed with butts. It's so cute because like I'm obsessed with butts too. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I am. And then like he's like, we're the big booty family. I'm like, yes, we're the big booty family. I get so proud for some reason. I'm such a dork. But yeah, it's true. Like you see your kid a reflection of how of you in a way, right? And he starts liking the same stuff that you like, and and also like Camilo. Also, it goes both ways because now Camilo is really into anime,
That's
and I don't know anything about anime whatsoever, and he's like teaching me and stuff. So it's cool. It's cool to watch him be like a little mirror of me, like a little mini me, but at the same time having his own personality.
like I
You
said,
know?
they're evolving. As you evolve, they
Yeah,
evolve too. It's
it's so
like,
cool.
you know, it's just amazing. Like, these kids came from us, and as you evolve, they evolve too. So never stop evolving, because they're gonna
Yeah,
look at you, and of course they're gonna talk about you. Oh, my mom this, my mom that. It's just those are things too that we gotta be mindful about ourselves too. We gotta, no matter,
it's hard sometimes
it's
though.
that sometimes we gotta be real with them too. Like, we're not perfect.
Yeah, that
Sometimes we
part.
just want
That
out.
part. That could be another episode all in itself. Well, speaking of another episode, we have been talking for an hour.
Oh my goodness, it's like an hour and 3 minutes. Should we
Yeah,
stop, or should
I
we
think
still?
I think it's a good time to stop. I think we don't want to over. Literally, we can digest this little mini topic that we talked about within this hour into like a whole episode.
Maybe we
Um,
can talk about, like, why did we do this podcast? Like, how did it
okay.
start? What is our
So
goal?
before
Like,
so before we leave, we're I think that's a good idea. We'll go ahead and leave you guys with this. Um, our own reasons why we decided to do the podcast. And yeah, I mean I think this is a good first episode kind of to get like a
to be
kind of
honest,
get like a quick little glance of who we are. Um there's still so much to talk about. There's still so much things to unravel. But yeah, I hope you guys continue to join us, and it's definitely going to be quite an interesting, fun journey.
Yes.
And the reason why I wanted to do the podcast personally is because I don't know. I feel like I see these topics. Well, first of all, if you see my Instagram, you'll see that I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of it.
Explanations. I'm like, dang,
I
this girl. I can
I
talk
have a lot of
about everything.
I have a lot of opinions. I have a lot of opinions. So I think this is an opportunity for me to like really open up and kind of digest those topics that I do want to talk about, and that we also talk about, you and I, personally. And when we both were like talking about these tough topics, we're like, oh well, why don't we just do it in a more public form where,
People
because
can
here's my thing.
relate, can
Yeah,
relate us.
because
And
exactly, because for me, I've always grew up feeling like I'm out of place. I never really fit in anywhere. I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. Um, so I really felt I was struggling to figure out my place in this world. Um, and then I became a mother. I'm like, okay, well maybe my thing is being a mom, and but that within itself felt like, I don't know, it just felt like something was still missing. And I know there's a lot of people out there who feel the same.
yeah,
And I want them to come to our podcast and be like, all right, I feel I feel seen, I feel heard, and I feel safe. And it's okay to be different. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to think differently than everybody else. It's okay to approach life in a different way as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. So that to me is one of my main reasons why I wanted to do this, because I wanted this is for the Myra, the 16-year-old Myra who felt alone. This is
hmm
for the early 20s Myra who felt alone and who didn't have anyone to truly relate to her. This is for her. This is why I'm doing it.
you're doing this for yourself, pretty much.
For people who were like me. Yeah.
And someone can relate. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, the reason why I also want to do this podcast, because I don't think a lot of people think that I could do something random like this, because
Mm,
people see
that's
me as
good. That's a good thing.
conservative. Yeah, I like comics here and there. I'm also like a mom. I'm also like, I work a lot. I also like deal other like serious stuff, but I also do fun stuff. But this is actually outside of my comfort zone, because if you
Yeah.
know me a long time ago, I'm like, I get anxiety when I have to speak up. Like, I used to stutter growing up, like between, I think, 7 to 12 years old. I stutter a lot. Like, when I say like one word, I'm already sweating. I'm already like, like the word doesn't come out. And I thought something wrong with me. And
Mm,
and then coming to, America from Philippines, the culture shock, and then I have to speak more English than my own language. That's a lot of hard too. Like, I
yeah.
like, I can't speak because kids used to bully me because I speak so eloquently. I say please, I say may I. When I came here, I don't know what slang is. Like, why do they
Yeah.
talk like that? I don't understand the lingo. And then, I
Yeah.
grew up in the valley, and then I moved to Bay Area. That's another culture shock for me, because the way they talk is like fast paced, and the way they are, and it's just the culture too. And then me going to the business field, like the corporate world, that's another step for me. It's like,
Mhm.
and I evolve depends on my environment is. And for me, doing the podcast is another step. another different space for me that I want to. It's not that I need to. I want to get comfortable of my voice. And with people talking, I have group of people that talks a lot, like, that gets me inspired. I want to talk to, but then I don't know how to say it. It's the best timing, or like, oh, you should be saying this. Like, I just keep things to myself that I'm using this
Mm.
space. And the reason why I brought this podcast idea with you, because you and I have a lot to talk to. And the fact that we always leave voice notes to each other,
Yeah.
and I'm like, girl, this could be a podcast episode. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate that you're open to this idea. And now that we're here, and let's see how this goes, because this is also a personal space for us and for the listeners that who's going through stuff that we're going through.
Yeah.
And
And I
maybe just for guests, guest speakers out here.
yeah. And now, great segue, because I was going to say we're also going to be inviting guests on the show, well, on the podcast, on the podcast, and we want to get a lot of males too, because the male perspective on
Right.
relationships and about life is super interesting to me.
Yes,
Um,
perspective is definitely
so
important. We don't know what.
yeah, and it's important to understand the other side. It really is, even though it may be completely different from you, but in order to understand each other, we got to listen to each other, and
Yes.
that's something that we're completely missing. It's not all about us females. It's not. It's also about the males. Males are important too.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm all for women empowerment, like our voice needs to be heard. But also, there's stuff out there, not a lot of voices are heard, regardless of who you are or what you do in life. People out there, they just keep things to themselves. This is a good way, I encourage people to, like, maybe start a podcast, write a book, do something to
or
get your,
start conversations with
yes,
your loved ones. If there's
and
a
with
talk, because
yourself, and with
this
yourself.
episode, exactly, this episode was a little bit of everything, but we are going to be focusing or narrowing down on the topics for each episode. So, yeah, if there's an episode that inspires a question in you,
Mm-hmm.
I invite you to go ahead and dig a little deeper. And that's what I think it's important that we do on here is we're not going to go with what everyone and what society is going along. We're going to digest it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have a tough conversation. And, we're going to trigger. We got to trigger because if we're not triggered, dude, we're not growing. We're not evolving.
Exactly.
We're not.
The thing is, the bigger thing, sometimes it's overused by a lot of people that they limit themselves. Like, oh, this is triggering. Like, but listen first and let the triggers. I mean, there's a line, out there. If you don't want to hear it, then stop. But sometimes it's good to be curious about things that will help you along the way.
And of course, we're not talking about like physical or mental abuse. We're talking about more like
that.
I mean, that's just common sense.
Yeah.
But
like they use the word trigger for unnecessary things. So it's like, I don't think you understand what trigger means, because you doing that, you're kind of like excluding people who are actually going through real triggers. Don't use something
in a negative way.
Yes.
Yeah, my therapist actually told me that I should stop using the word trigger and start using it. Instead of saying trigger, say it's an opportunity for growth.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, that's really good, because it is. A trigger is the universe, again, the universe, God. It's their way of saying, all right, you still got to work on some things. So
definitely,
let's work on some things. And most of us we don't want to listen. We don't want to listen. It's too hard. It's too uncomfortable. It's so easy just to stay in a little comfort zone, but then yet we complain that nothing changes, and we complain that life isn't going the way where we want, but yet we don't want to do anything to change anything. So, I mean, there's also that.
And then you blame everything except yourself. So that's something,
Exactly.
We got to start conversation again with ourselves.
Exactly.
Don't let something like limit yourself. And this
Yeah.
is why we're doing this podcast, because for me, this is outside of my comfort zone, just speaking to people publicly. So, and those people I don't even know. So whoever you guys are, like, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. We love you.
Yeah.
So
I guess
this is exciting. This is super exciting. I'm so happy we're doing this, Mel. I love you so much.
I love you
And
too. Let me
we're
figure this
going to we're gonna figure this out. It's not gonna take forever like it did this morning. Hopefully not.
to upload this on. I'm gonna post it, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes, because we're not really technical, experts. So this is our first.
We're learning. We're learning as we're doing this. So it's definitely
evolving in the media structure right now.
Have patience with us, y'all. We're gonna get this right.
Yeah, if we can do this, you guys can do this too.
For sure. Oh my God, I keep saying that too. If I can do it, you can do it. Get it?
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I love you, Mel. We will talk next Saturday.
Yes. Well, where this goes.
Bye, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Much love.
Okay, talk